Welcome back today. In this video, we're diving into the top 5 most valuable United Kingdom 1 penny coins. We'll look at how different conditions, mint marks, and years can make these seemingly ordinary coins worth surprising amounts of money. So, if you've got an old penny lying around, you'll want to watch until the end to see if you might be holding a hidden treasure. Let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from 1962. While at first glance, this coin may seem ordinary, especially in dirty or worn condition, it still carries historical importance and collector interest. Many people find these coins in old drawers, inherited collections, or even in circulation decades ago. But how rare is a 1962 penny really, and what kind of value can it fetch at auctions, even in less than perfect condition? Let's find out. The 1962 1 penny coin was part of the pre-decimal currency system of the United Kingdom. At the time, the British monetary system was based on pounds, shillings, and pence, with 240 pennies making up £1. This coin was minted under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who had ascended to the throne in 1952. The penny was a vital coin for everyday use and had been circulating in various designs for centuries. The 1962 issue was one of the later pennies before the major shift to decimalisation in 1971, when the system changed to 100 new pence per pound. The obverse of the 1962 penny features the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This youthful and elegant portrait shows the Queen facing right, wearing a laurel wreath rather than a crown, a design meant to symbolize grace and continuity. On the reverse side, the coin depicts the seated Britannia holding a trident and shield, a design that had been a long-standing symbol of British strength and unity. The coin is made of bronze, with a diameter of 30.81 mm and a weight of 9.4 grams, making it one of the larger coins in circulation at that time. Now, when it comes to rarity, the 1962 penny is not considered extremely rare, as millions were minted. However, condition plays a huge role in a coin's desirability. A coin in uncirculated or mint state condition can attract considerable collector interest. But what about a dirty, worn, or damaged coin? In such cases, the value decreases significantly. Collectors generally prefer coins with clear details, minimal wear, and original luster. Still, even in dirty condition, the 1962 penny holds value for beginners, history enthusiasts, or those who wish to complete a date collection. While a worn coin may not fetch high prices, it still has charm and represents a tangible piece of mid-20th century Britain. So, how much is a 1962 UK penny worth today in dirty or circulated condition? Generally, these coins sell for as little as $325,000 in heavily worn or dirty states, essentially making them common entry-level collector's items. However, coins in better grades such as fine or extremely fine may bring in between $214,000. Uncirculated examples, particularly those with full detail and strong color, can reach $15 or more at auction. The truth is, in dirty condition, the 1962 penny is more valuable as a keepsake or educational piece than a high-dollar collectible, but it still has a place in the world of .4 collectors. The best approach with a 1962 penny in dirty condition is to avoid cleaning it aggressively, as cleaning can reduce its numismatic value. Instead, store it properly in a coin holder or album to preserve its current state. If you want to build a full collection of pre-decimal pennies, try searching for coins in better condition or specific key years, which are often more sought after. Auctions, coin fairs, and online marketplaces are great places to compare values and see how condition affects pricing. In conclusion, the 1962 United Kingdom 1 penny may not be the rarest coin out there, but it certainly carries historical significance. In dirty condition, its monetary value may be modest, yet its true worth lies in its ability to connect us with Britain's rich pre-decimal past. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collecting journey. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from the year 1935. Even in circulation condition, this coin holds a certain charm and value, especially when considered within the world of numismatics. We'll look at its background, its unique features, how collectors view it in damaged or worn states, and most importantly, its current market value in dollars. The 1935 1 penny coin belongs to the reign of King George V, who ruled the United Kingdom from 1910 until his death in 1936. The penny was a key part of Britain's pre-decimal currency system, where 240 pennies equaled £1 sterling. The 1930s were a time of economic struggle worldwide due to the Great Depression, yet coin production continued steadily in the UK. By 1935, the Royal Mint struck millions of pennies for circulation, meaning this coin was widely used by ordinary people in everyday transactions. Today, it stands as both a historical artifact and a collectible piece. The 1935 penny features on its obverse the portrait of King George V, designed by Sir Bertram McKennell, with the inscription Georgives V Dei Gra, Brit, OMN, Rex Fid, Def, Ind, Imp. This Latin phrase translates to George V, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, the classic image of Britannia is depicted seated with a trident in her hand and a shield resting beside her, symbolizing strength and maritime power. The date, 1935, is struck at the bottom. Its large bronze composition, with a diameter of 30.8 mm, gives it a strong, heavy feel compared to modern coins. While the 1935 penny is not considered one of the rarest dates in the British penny series, it still holds appeal to collectors due to its age and the fact that it is now nearly 90 years old. In circulation or damaged condition, these coins are far more common, as they were produced in high numbers and many examples survive. However, collectors still seek them out, especially those building date runs of George V pennies. Even with scratches, discoloration, or dirt from years of circulation, the coin remains desirable as an affordable entry point for beginners in coin collecting. Truly rare versions are those preserved in high-grade, uncirculated condition, but even circulated examples continue to trade on the collector's market. When it comes to value, condition plays the most important role. A 1935 penny in well-worn circulation condition might only fetch around $634,000 in today's market. If the coin is in average circulated grade with moderate wear, collectors might pay closer to $5. Heavily damaged or corroded examples typically remain at the lower end of this range. On the other hand, coins in fine to very fine condition can sometimes reach $431,000, while higher grades like extremely fine or uncirculated examples can rise significantly, with some selling for over $316,000 at auctions. But for the focus of today's circulation condition coins, their value stays modest, yet consistent, given the strong base of collectors for George V pennies. If you're interested in adding a 1935 penny to your collection, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, always pay attention to the condition and don't overpay for coins that are heavily damaged, since they are more common. Second, look for coins with clear, readable inscriptions and less wear on Britannia's details, as these features can increase desirability. Third, when buying online or at auction, compare prices across several platforms to ensure you're getting a fair deal. Lastly, remember that even in circulation condition, this coin has historical and educational value, making it a perfect starting piece for new collectors. The United Kingdom 1 penny from 1935 is a coin that carries with it both history and charm. While it isn't one of the rarest dates, its age, connection to King George V, and enduring design make it appealing to many collectors. In circulation or damaged condition, its value may be modest, ranging just a few dollars, but it still holds a special place in the numismatic world as a link to Britain's past. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny coin dated 1940 in fine condition. Many collectors and enthusiasts often wonder if this coin holds any rarity, and more importantly, what it's worth in auctions, especially when converted into US dollars. So, let's walk through its background, unique traits, and market demand to get the full picture. The 1940 United Kingdom 1 penny belongs to the George VI era. King George VI reigned from 1936 until 1952, and his coins remain a significant part of British numismatic history. At the time, the penny was still a large bronze coin, weighing around 9.4 grams and measuring 30.8 millimeters in diameter. This was long before decimalisation, when the UK transitioned to the modern currency system in 1971. The 1940 penny was struck at the Royal Mint in large numbers, as coinage demand was high during the wartime economy. However, despite a sizable mintage, not all of these coins survived in good condition, making fine or better examples of interest to collectors. The obverse of the 1940 penny features the portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. The Latin inscription around the portrait reads Georgiv 6D GBROMN Rex F laughing smiley INDIMP, which translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, designed by Leonard Charles Wyon, sits Britannia holding her trident and shield, a long-standing symbol of Britain's strength and maritime power. The date, 1940, appears at the bottom. These design elements give the coin a timeless appeal and a place of pride in UK coinage history. While the 1940 penny does not fall under the extremely rare category, its desirability depends heavily on condition. Millions were minted, but finding coins that have survived in fine or higher grade is becoming more challenging as decades pass. Coins in damaged, corroded, or heavily worn condition often have little to no premium above face value for collectors. However, fine condition coins, those showing moderate wear but retaining clear detail, are still sought after by beginner collectors who want an affordable entry into pre-decimal coinage. For serious numismatists, only extremely fine or uncirculated examples draw strong interest, yet fine-grade coins remain a respectable choice for those building historical collections. When we talk about value, it is important to balance historical interest with actual collector demand. In fine condition, a 1940 United Kingdom 1 penny generally sells in the modest range of $426,000 in the current market. At major auctions, unless the coin is in near uncirculated or uncirculated condition, prices rarely exceed this range. However, graded higher examples can fetch $125,000 or more depending on rarity of strike quality and buyer interest. For a fine condition coin, though, expect its value to remain within the lower dollar bracket. If you own or are considering collecting the 1940 penny, always pay attention to condition. Fine condition examples are common enough, so if your goal is to invest or resell, it's best to look for higher grade coins where value significantly increases. Be sure to store your penny in a protective sleeve or coin holder to prevent further wear. Research auction results and join coin collector forums to get an accurate sense of market trends. Also, if you have multiple coins, consider selling them as part of a complete date set, which can sometimes boost their overall value. To wrap up, the 1940 United Kingdom 1 penny is not particularly rare, but it carries historical charm and a modest value in fine condition. Worth around $15, it remains a collectible piece for beginners and a stepping stone into the broader world of pre-decimal British coinage. For serious collectors, however, the hunt is often for better preserved examples. Whether you're collecting for history, investment, or passion, the 1940 penny is a wonderful addition that connects us to the wartime era of Britain and the reign of George VI. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from 1967. While this coin is not considered rare in most cases, collectors continue to show interest in it because of its historical context, iconic design, and the nostalgic value it holds. In this video, we'll explore the story behind the 1967 penny, its unique features, the rarity of examples in bad condition, and what these coins are worth in today's auction market, especially in US dollars. The 1967 penny belongs to the pre-decimal era of British coinage. At that time, the currency system was based on pounds, shillings, and pence. The penny was a vital everyday denomination used widely across the United Kingdom. What makes 1967 especially interesting is that it was one of the last years before the decimalisation reforms, which were introduced in 1971. The Royal Mint produced over 600 million pennies in 1967, making it the most heavily minted year for this denomination. This was done to ensure that plenty of coins were available to meet demand as Britain transitioned into its new system of money. The coin is struck in bronze and weighs around 9.4 grams with a diameter of 30.8 millimeters. On the obverse side, it features the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This portrait was used on coins from 1953 until 1967, making it a familiar and classic design. The reverse side displays the seated figure of Britannia holding a trident and shield, a design that had been in use on pennies for more than a century. While the coin's appearance may seem simple, the symbolism of Britannia reflects strength, tradition, and the maritime power of Britain. Now, when it comes to rarity, the 1967 penny is not considered rare at all. In fact, it is one of the most common British pre-decimal coins due to its massive mintage. However, coins in extremely poor or damaged condition, such as being corroded, bent, or heavily worn, generally do not attract strong collector interest. Collectors tend to prefer coins in fine, very fine, or uncirculated states. That said, there are still hobbyists who might pick up badly worn examples simply to complete a collection or for sentimental value. In general, the market demand for 1967 pennies in bad condition is quite low. When it comes to auction prices, a 1967 penny in bad condition holds very little monetary value. On average, such coins sell for less than $1, often around 10 to 25 cents in US auctions or coin markets. Dealers may even sell them in bulk by the pound, as they were minted in such large numbers. In comparison, higher-grade examples, particularly uncirculated ones, can fetch a few dollars, sometimes up to $5 or slightly more if the coin has been exceptionally preserved. But for heavily damaged 1967 pennies, their value remains minimal and largely symbolic. For collectors who are just starting out, a 1967 penny in bad condition can be an inexpensive way to begin building a collection of British pre-decimal coins. However, if you're serious about collecting for long-term value, it's better to seek out coins in fine or uncirculated condition. Look for clear details on Britannia's figure, a sharp portrait of the Queen, and as little surface damage as possible. If you already have a worn example, consider holding on to it as a piece of history rather than an investment. These coins are also great conversation starters and can be used to learn more about the decimalization period in the United Kingdom. In summary, the 1967 United Kingdom 1 penny is a coin that represents the closing chapter of an era in British currency. While it is far from rare and holds minimal market value in bad condition, it still carries historical and nostalgic importance for many collectors. For most, the true worth of this coin is not in its price tag but in the story it tells about a nation on the brink of monetary transformation. So whether you have a shiny uncirculated piece or a worn and battered penny. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from 1949 in fine condition. While the humble penny might seem ordinary, coins from this period carry a lot of history, character, and collector value. In this video, we'll explore the story behind the 1949 penny, its unique features, its rarity, and what it might fetch in today's auction market in US dollars. The United Kingdom 1 penny coin of 1949 was struck under the reign of King George VI, who ruled from 1936 to 1952. These coins were part of the pre-decimal currency system, in which 240 pennies made up £1 sterling. The 1940s was a time of great change and recovery for Britain, just a few years after the end of World War II. The penny was an essential everyday coin, circulating widely across the country and used for countless small transactions. Despite its large production numbers, each year of minting holds its own story, making specific dates like 1949 worth studying closely. The 1949 penny features a portrait of King George VI on the obverse, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. His image faces left, without a crown, and is surrounded by the Latin inscription that translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse, you'll find Britannia, the female personification of Britain, seated with a trident in one hand and a shield by her side. The word 1 penny is displayed prominently, with the year 1949 at the bottom. The coin is made of bronze, weighs around 9.4 grams, and has a diameter of 30.8 millimeters, giving it a solid, old-fashioned feel that is instantly recognizable to collectors. When it comes to rarity, the 1949 penny is not among the scarcest coins of the George VI series, as millions were minted for circulation. However, the condition of a coin dramatically affects its desirability. Collectors typically look for well-preserved examples, but even in damaged or heavily circulated condition, coins like this still hold nostalgic and historic value. A coin in fine condition, meaning moderate wear but still clear details, will always attract more attention than one in poor or corroded shape. That said, even lower-grade examples are collected by beginners or history enthusiasts who want a piece of British heritage at an affordable price. Now let's talk about the part that excites many viewers, the market value. A 1949 United Kingdom penny in fine condition does not usually command a huge price, as it is relatively common. On average, such coins sell for around $432,000 in general collector markets. If the coin is in very fine or extremely fine condition, the value can climb to $122,000. In uncirculated, mint state condition, However, values can rise much higher, sometimes reaching $25 or more at auctions or from specialized coin dealers. For a fine condition example, the worth lies more in its history and collectability than in its monetary value, but it remains a solid piece for a starter collection. For collectors interested in the 1949 penny, the key is condition and provenance. Always store your coins in a dry, safe environment to prevent corrosion. If you find one in circulation, avoid cleaning it aggressively, as this can reduce its value. Instead, gently protect it in a coin holder. Keep an eye out for rare errors or unusual striking variations, which can sometimes elevate even common coins into highly desirable collectibles. Networking with fellow collectors and checking online auctions can also help you gauge current market trends and values. In conclusion, while the United Kingdom 1 penny from 1949 in fine condition may not make you rich, it represents an important chapter of British numismatic history. Its design, linked to the reign of George VI, and its role in post-war Britain make it a collectible worth owning. Whether you're just beginning your coin collecting journey or looking to fill a gap in your George VI penny series, the 1949 penny is a charming and affordable piece of history. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of rare and valuable coins.